solution to the conflict in Afghanistan. So that's what I would say to you about Iraq and Afghanistan.
From women members, one by the Curtin there and one from Captain India. Yeah.
Hi, good evening. More recently, since the Hung Parliament, did you hear me?
Yes, I can.
More recently, since yesterday, Hung Parliament, many arguments have been brought forward about changing the structure of the election processes. What are your views on that?
What do you think about that?
I'm going to get to ask the question.
Okay, fine. So much for my politicians where I'm trying to get out of answering the question.
Although I'm collecting all the support signatures, but I would like to ask you, why do you think you're the best candidate out of others, and especially when your brother is?
Okay, so let me deal with both of those questions. On the first question, I think we'll have coalitions more often, not less, in the future, because the truth is that whereas in the 1950s about 90% of people voted for the two main parties, in 2010 it was about 65%. So you've seen people voting for all kinds of parties. Now, what I want to do to the electoral system is to change it so that every MP that's elected, Stephen is not going to have this problem, has to get 50% of the vote. So you order your preferences 1, 2, 3, 4, so that eventually one of the candidates got 50% of the vote. I think it's right in principle that whoever is elected gets 50% of the vote. I think it's right for us too, because there's too many constituencies around Britain. We saw people who didn't think they would end up with a Conservative MP, but they did, because they said, well, I'm Labour really, but I'll try Green this time. And so the Labour vote fell, the Conservative vote came out, and we ended up being out of that. But the real issue, the real answer to this question, is the way we avoid a coalition government is by convincing people to vote for us. And there are lots of Liberal Democrats around this country in particular who are saying, oh my goodness, I didn't expect to be getting this. I didn't expect to be getting a Conservative government. So we've got to go out and persuade them and bring them back to us. On the question about the other candidate, in particular, my brother, let me just answer that directly by saying a couple of things. First of all, a lot of people in the audience will be wondering, why did he stand against his brother, or why did my brother stand against me? My mum's wondering that too. She's voting for Diane Abbott, actually. On the first question, I looked at the history of the Labour Party. 2007, when there wasn't a contest. 1994, when Tony Blair and Gordon Brown didn't. I think in both of those cases, whoever had become the leader would have been a better leader if all of the candidates who were thinking about standing had stood. And British democracy needs a strong Labour Party, and the Labour Party needs a strong Labour Party, and that is the way we will get the strongest outcome. On the question about what do I bring to this contest, I'm not going to spend my time in this contest, let me say this, saying any bad things about the other candidates, either in public or private, because I don't think Labour Party members want it, I don't think it would be right. I'm certainly not going to say bad things about my brother. What do I want to try and bring to this? A sense of values, which I talked about, an ability to listen, which I think is so important in a politician, and an ability to try and inspire people to come to our cause. Now, you're the boss in this. You vote for whoever you think is the best candidate, and there are great candidates in this field. But I think that whoever becomes the leader will emerge stronger from the fact that we have 5 candidates on this ballot paper, including Diane Abbott and all my other candidates as well.
I'm just going to take 2 more, and I apologise for the fact we're going to take Bill Lau and
I think the gentleman knew.
Oh, right. Let's take 3. Just take those 3.